we're going to look at the single price detailed methods of estimation, example 6 in your appendixes. We're going to look at the parametric method. So the first example that we've got here is your junior colleague forgot to complete an elemental analysis for the basic building cost of a new project, which has to be ready for planning, for a planning meeting later that morning, and comes to you for help. Okay, he has only completed the estimates for the 5 elements in table 2 on the next page. Okay, so please go through the lecture on the theory together with this to look at how the parametric system works. Okay, so the main thing is here, you realize that it's impossible to complete the elemental analysis for the remaining elements in time, and that the client has to be kept satisfied this morning with the approximate elemental analysis. So to make use of the historical data of similar projects in the fire safe, basically old data that you've got available, and a parametric cost method to estimate the total basic building costs only by using the elements already estimated as the parameters. So the basic thing here is you're going to use the information that you've got available, that you've worked on the project so far, and also just to fill the gap to get to an estimate, to put something on the table. Okay, so here you will see we've got a couple of projects. So you can see they are different projects. They didn't name the projects. So you've got project 1, 2 and 3 with different designs. So none of them had any piling. The foundations for these projects were as follows. These are in thousands of rand, so it was just broken down very easily to make it easy to calculate, so it's not too big a amount to use. Okay, one had a basement. You can see you had a ground floor structural frame. There was no structural frame. You had an exterior envelope, roof, upper floors, internal divisions, floor finishes, internal walls, ceilings, fittings, electrical work, plumbing. Okay, and then fire protection. The one had some fire protection. Lifts, no lifts was installed. 2 of the projects had air conditioning and ventilation installed, and then specialist equipment and services additional to the project. This might be like access control or anything like that, like biometrics, etc. Okay, then you would see the basic building cost was developed here. This also explains the basic building cost for you a little bit for our previous methods that we've used. So you can see now they've got the external works here. We've got a soil drainage, which is your sewer basically. So you've got your stormwater drainage, any other external works, alterations if it was an existing building and some alterations had to be done to that, and then you've got your subtotals here. You add your preliminaries, the added contingencies, okay, and then subtotal, they added 14% VAT to that. Just note that we always use 15%. I'm just going to reiterate that again. Okay, so for the example, we've got all of these items added. You might ask, why is contingencies added here if it's historical projects? This will be projects where estimates only were done. So just to put you up to speed on why contingencies is also included here. Okay, it doesn't really matter because you're going to add your own contingencies on top of any estimate that you do anyway. Okay, so going to the next slide. So this information will be given to you usually. So the foundations had an elemental tariff of 108, ground floor construction is 162 rand, and then your internal divisions are another 172 rand and 80 cents. Ceilings, your external envelope. Okay, so this was what your junior QS has developed up to that morning, and now you've got this information, and now you need to finalize your estimate going forward. Okay, so what you basically do is you add all of those items from table 2 together to get to a total rand per square meter rate. Okay, so you take that rate, and then the next step would be to calculate what percentage it is of a total project. Okay, so to determine that is determine this parametric tariff as percentage of the total building cost for the free historical projects. So you take your free historical buildings, you take that items that was shown in table 2, and you take out each project's rate of your historical data, and you calculate these items, what percentage that these items contribute to your total basic building cost. Okay, so then you take your 354 rand of these totals divided by the total building cost to get a percentage of 60% for your project 1. So those items in table 2 contributed 60% of the total cost of your first project. You do the same for your second project, and you do the same for your third project. Okay, and then what you do is basically you work out what the average percentage of these items are over these 3 projects. So now you can see the table 2 only, the junior QS only worked out 60% of the basic building cost for your new building. So what you do is you take that, so that's the total estimated basic cost for your building. You take that 714 rand and 17 cents which you worked out in table 2 times, you make that 100%. To make that 100%, you put 100 over 60 to get to your total basic building rate. Okay, and that is basically how you do your parametric system or method. And then obviously after that you would add all your different items to that. You will add your external works items there, and like any drainage, soil drainage and so on, which is specific to those items or to this building. Okay, so and then you add your P's and G's and so forth. Okay, so I'll still do a example like that, but I think there is a nice example in your appendixes for that, so you can work through that so long. I've also added a little example here for you of a similar project that you can use. You can work through this and see whether you actually get to the answer that is shown here. So you can see in your slides that was posted previously how this was calculated. So I'm just going to run through this. So you take your items that you have calculated from the previous slide, and you add them together, and you calculate what the percentage is for each one. You do the same for your project 2, and you can see that it only contributed 39%, the first one only 18%, and thus you can see the median is basically 29% that was contributed for only those items that you calculated. Then you take that item, your previous slides total, you calculate what it would be if it was 100, and you calculate a parametric rate per square meter of 3,500 to be used. Yeah, and so that is in short how the parametric system works. Thanks everyone, all the best to you.